So as the playoffs get underway, the rumor mill is swirling when it comes to the NFL Coaching Carousel. There have been a ton of interviews conducted when it comes to each team looking for a new head coach, but no one yet to make a hire. Taking a look at the available jobs right now, names like Dallas defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, a strong favorite to maybe go to the Broncos. And many wondering when it comes to Bryant Flores, look, it's not a question if he lands somewhere. The question is, where will he land? Let's welcome in two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden here. You're going to play a little matchmaker and give us the best fits for each team. But we're going to start with a name here, the best landing spot for Bryant Flores, because like I said, it's not really if he's going to find a job, it's just where.
Yeah, where? I think Bryant Flores has an option to pretty much pick where he wants to go because he will probably be the most coveted coach that's available to land one of these vacancies. So me personally, when you look at the best fit for B-Flow would be the Houston Texans. And here's why. We all know about his football love affair with Deshaun Watson. We've heard before the legal issues that Deshaun Watson wanted to potentially go to Miami. Bryant Flores loved what Deshaun Watson provided at the quarterback position. And hopefully for Deshaun Watson's case, you know, he's able to get through this legal issue. And if that's the case, I think these two individuals definitely would be ideal for each other because they definitely respect each other as a coach and as a player. So me personally understanding and knowing that relationship that's pretty much already established, I think that would be the best fit for B-Flow, the Houston Texans.
And you got to wonder there if Deshaun Watson, if he does come over, then if he would be okay staying, regardless of everything that happened, saying that he did not want to be with the Texans anymore. All right, let's go to the team no longer with Bryant Flores, the Dolphins. Who would be the best fit for them?
My former teammate, Byron Leftwich, outstanding offensive play caller for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been in the league, around the league for a long, long time as a player and as a coach. He's been able to learn from some of the best as a player and, of course, as a coach. And now looking at the job he's been able to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being hands-on with Tom Brady and seeing how he's been able to flourish as a play caller and looking at what the Miami Dolphins have currently there at the quarterback position, a young quarterback, a guy you would love to continue to see develop in the organization. In Tua Tagovailoa, you have some pieces surrounding Tua as well. A guy that's respected in the league as a player and as a coach, I believe can get the best out of Tua, and B-Left is that guy. He's right up the road. You don't have to go far to go get him, Stephen Ross. He's right up the road, maybe 3.5-hour drive or so. You want to get him the jet, quick 30-minute flight. But I think Byron Leftwich would be the ideal fit for the Miami Dolphins.
We're going to stay in the state of Florida, just go a little bit north here. And when it comes to the Jags, it's the best head coach for the Jags, but also who can develop Trevor Lawrence? What do you think about this, B-Mac?
Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, a coach that has a Super Bowl resume already. Winning the title is huge, especially being able to bring that type of experience to the Jacksonville Jaguars organization would be imperative. Not to mention, you talked about the young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Seeing how he was able to help the quarterback position develop there in Philadelphia, being able to win a championship with the backup quarterback, being able to be hands-on at that time before the injury to Carson Wentz, seeing how Carson Wentz had an outstanding year before that ACL injury, and the structure he actually could provide for this organization, I think would be something that they definitely needs to address. So I think Doug Peterson would be the ideal fit for this organization, being able to bring some type of championship pedigree, championship experience for this organization is something they haven't been familiar with. And I think understanding and knowing the pieces they have, especially with Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence would do wonderful being able to learn under Doug Peterson.
And he said after he left the Eagles, look, I'm just going to take like a year off, but he does want to be back. All right, let's go to the Bears and the best fit. This is a name that we had not been hearing for a while. It is a huge name, but in the past couple of days, his name has been thrown around. What do you think?
Yeah, a name no one is really talking about. A name that's one of the more respected coaches in the National Football League, a guy who has won a championship, one of the best play callers in the game. The best ideal fit for the Chicago Bears is Sean Payton. Yes, Sean Payton, currently the New Orleans Saints head coach. Sean Payton. I believe, I don't know what my gut is telling me, Amanda, I feel like Sean Payton will not coach the New Orleans Saints in 2022. I could be wrong, I could be right, but my gut is telling me I think Sean Payton will be coaching elsewhere this upcoming season. And if you're the Chicago Bears and if you have a shot to go land an outstanding head coach, leadership, a guy that can provide offensive structure, a guy that can help Justin Fields take the next step in his career, go do it. Not to mention the personnel mind that he has, the mentality on both sides of the football, the structure. And get this, he's an Illinois guy. He understands the Bears' way. He understands, he has a relationship with the McCaskey family as well. So he's familiar with the Chicago Bears. He's basically invested already in the program. And that's a name that, like you said, no one is really talking about. But I don't think Sean Payton will be coaching. I'm sorry, New Orleans Saints. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I don't think he will be coaching the New Orleans Saints this upcoming season. In Chicago, if you're listening to us right now on HQ, me and Amanda, put a package together. Go get him. Go try. Go try. And not just Chicago. All the teams that we're highlighting, if you want a head coach, you should try to put together a package to go get Sean Payton. I think it would make sense.
I cannot even, as soon as you started talking about, I would just, the numbers, just the number that it would take and years to get him to go there. I mean, is there anybody then who would replace him, or are you not even thinking that far?
I'm not even thinking that far because it's just my little gut right now. And it's just telling me, I feel like Sean Payton's going to coach elsewhere. But if there is a possibility, if it happens, number one, Amanda, I think we should both play the lottery. Allow me to pick the numbers, and you just play whatever I tell you to pick. Number two, and then we will address the New Orleans Saints head coaching vacancy next week, same time, same day.
I like it. I don't play the lottery right now, but I will go with your gut because that is what we're going with right now. All right, we're running out of time here. Let's go to the Giants. Best fit for the Giants.
Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator, Buffalo Bills. Daboll has done a phenomenal job with the Josh Allen. The Giants, on paper, they have a few pieces. You still got to figure out what's going to happen at the quarterback position. Got to keep Saquon Barkley healthy. But looking at what he's been able to do, my goodness, he's been one of the more quality, sound offensive minds of the National Football League. And looking at how he just tore up the New England Patriots defense this past weekend in the playoffs, that's the ultimate head coaching tape you would like to be able to showcase in an interview. So me personally, if you don't know your football Giants, go get Brian Daboll as your head coach and then allow him to be able to assemble the guys he would love to coach, and then the rest will be history.
This is really interesting. Let's go to the Raiders here, and you have a name that was thrown out initially pretty much for every single team.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh wants to get back to the NFL. He wants to get back to that level. He wants to compete for a championship. And right now, he's very, very hot. Yes, he had a real successful year. They didn't win the collegiate championship, but guess what? He beat Ohio State. Finally being able to do that is a monumental achievement for Jim Harbaugh. So he can ride off into sunset and say, you know what? I took care of one of the main priorities for the University of Michigan. Job halfway done. And with that being said, let's go back to the National Football League. And I think the Raiders, that's a team that he would love to be able to coach. The structure that could potentially, he potentially could provide would be huge. The being able to put people under him, the staff. And look, think about this. It wasn't like he left the NFL because he was just bad. He was a below average coach. He had some issues with the front office, but he was extremely successful. So me personally, Jim Harbaugh will be the ideal coach for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Let's end it with the Vikings here, and you're going with a name that I feel like for the past couple of years, every time there's a head coach opening, we have heard this name, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, and finally, he lands a job with the Minnesota Vikings. Why this is an ideal fit? He understands and he knows about the Vikings organization. Remember, he coached there from the year 2006 to 2010. Looking at what he's been able to do offensively, coaching under Andy Reid, calling plays there with Pat Mahomes, being able to put his hands on that offense when you have Dalvin Cook, when you have Adam Thielen, when you have Justin Jefferson, potentially still having Captain Kirk Cousins. Man, they have pieces already in place. Defensively, they have pieces in place as well. Hopefully getting Danielle Hunter back and some other guys. Man, this is a team that's ready to win right now. They're ready to win right now. And if you're able to get one of the more coveted names over the last few years into that organization, especially the offensive mind that he is and he has been, I think this would be great. This would be a big-time hire for the Minnesota Vikings.
B-Mac, we appreciate it. I would like an All Things Covered shirt, so let's just pop that in the mail. We appreciate it. Speaking of All Things Covered, that is B-Mac's podcast, along with his cousin, Patrick Peterson, their latest episode. It's about an hour long to talk about all sorts of things, including Pat P's impending free agency, also some playoff picks as well. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.